Hey family, good evening and welcome to season 2 of the Living Her Truth show, where we have honest conversations between sisters on what it means to live your truth authentically. I am your host, LaKitia, and I am here and I am ready to have another moment of truth with you to give you the confidence that you need to walk into your greatness. And tonight's episode is sponsored by ASistersTruth Fashion, and it's just in time for Mother's Day, because Mother's Day is coming up this weekend, just in case you didn't know. So why not give your mom a big smile on her face by giving her a custom-made handbag signature clutch from ASistersTruth. All you have to do is go over to www.ASistersTruthFashion.com and use the promo code SMILE at checkout to get 20% off your purchase. Pretty cool, right? So make sure to check the description box. I'll have all the information down there so you can go over it and get your mom a Mother's Day gift. And I have a ASistersTruth clutch and I absolutely love it. And I should have brought it today just to show you guys, but I didn't. I completely forgot. But trust me, they are super cute and adorable. You absolutely love it. And there is a really good meaning behind her custom handbag. So definitely go over to the website and check out ASistersTruth Fashions. So you guys, did you catch what I said season 2? What? This is episode 1 of season 2, which is like so freaking crazy and mind-blowing. You guys just don't understand. I am uber excited about season 2 because I have some amazing interviews coming up, including the one that we're about to have tonight. I am super excited to introduce you guys to Dozie O'Hare.
Hello.
Did I say your last name right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I like to. Okay, good. Because I like to pronounce people's names correctly, because my name gets mispronounced all the time. So I make a conscious effort. Yeah, I make a conscious effort. So I am super excited to have a conversation with Dozie on tonight. And as you know, I always like to start every episode with telling you about how I met the person that I am interviewing. And Dozie and I actually met at a New Year's Eve brunch, December of 2018. And we was at an event, and it was a New Year's Eve brunch. And Dozie had the opportunity to speak about her organization that I'm pretty sure we're going to talk about today. But what really stood out is that she had one of her beautiful little children,
mentees,
right? Mentees. There you go. Mentees, that's the word I was looking for. Mentees go up and speak and just give her testimony on how her organization has impacted her life. You guys, I don't think there was a dry eye in the ensemble when that beautiful young woman spoke and gave her testimony. Because how old was she? 12?
She's 10.
My goodness. She was only 10. Was she 10 at the time?
Yes.
Oh
she's
my
God.
God.
She's 11 now.
She's 11. She just turned 11. Oh my God, she was 10 years old. And when I tell you that she was so poised and confident, just up there speaking in a room full of it was probably like 100 of us, maybe? Yeah. Probably a little more than that. You know, it was amazing, and it touched my heart. And I had to absolutely go over and introduce myself to Dozie. And so after that, we connected and we chatted it up, and now we are here. So I am super excited. Let's get started, you guys. So Dozie, tell us a little bit more about you and your organization.
Well, thanks for having me, first of all.
You are so welcome.
I am so happy to be here and to be able to talk to your followers and people that, you're doing something also amazing.
Oh, thank you.
And so, yes, all of us coming together.
Yes, Black Girl Magic.
Yes. So my name is Dozie O'Hare, and I am the founder and CEO of a nonprofit called Choose to Do, Inc.
Okay, let me stop you right there.
Yes, ma'am.
Choose to do. I didn't want to say the name earlier because I wanted her to say it, but how do you not talk to somebody who starts an organization that says choose to do?
Yes.
Because a lot of us, we make a choice not to do. Choose to do. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's okay.
I needed to.
Perfect. That was great. Actually, it was great. Yes. So I started Choose to Do Inc. on March 8th, 2016. It's a nonprofit that mentors underprivileged youth in the greater Houston area. So our focus is to change the mindsets of our youth. Our mission is to focus on the physical and mental benefits of positive thinking while exposing our youth to new life experiences. So all we're doing is giving them a different perspective on how to lead a healthy life, starting with the mind. And so, I started it in 2016, March 8th, 2016. And so far we've mentored over 100 kids now.
Wow. That's awesome.
And they've gone through our programs. And we start off with one program that we call Breaking the Cycle.
Okay.
And that's for Breaking the Cycle for girls. And started that program January 2017. And so the purpose of that program is to promote self-love and leadership among girls 9 to 19 years old. And that's the program that Zoe, the speaker at the Women's Eve Brunch, she spoke to the women there. And so she came from Breaking the Cycle. And so it's a 4-week program. It's held 1 to 2 hours a week. And then on the 5th day, so it's a culmination of four weeks and then a 5th day, which make up one session, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
So 2 programs, 1 session. And so the second program is called Spa Day. And that's a celebration of the girls that have gone through Breaking the Cycle. And the purpose of Spa Day is just to validate what makes girls beautiful and unique, and then give them a different perspective on what self-care looks like and what it feels like. So once they've gone through Breaking the Cycle, they celebrate it, and we, pour more into them, and then they get a certificate, and then we do it all over again at a different location.
I'm sitting here shaking my head because that is just so amazing. It's so amazing. And it's from 9 to 19, right?
9 to 19.
And it's like, I'm sitting here thinking, I could have used a program like that, at that age. Let me see. The program that I remember growing up was like the DARE program.
Yes.
Which is cool. No knock to the DARE program. But with what I was going through, because if you guys know my story, you know that I was sexually abused for 8 years by my stepfather. The sexual abuse started when I was 8 years old and ended when I was 16. 9 to 19. So if I would have had a program like Choose to Do that would have showed me different alternatives, than what was going on in my household, that would have been like so amazing. Now, I wouldn't change my journey for the world because, my journey to healing started with becoming more self-aware. You guys know that. All about self-awareness. Living Her Truth is all about self-awareness, because self-awareness, I coach from 3 different aspects. There's 3 different phases. There's discover, define, and live your truth. So that's where living your truth comes from. That's where the show comes from. And these are not phases, you guys know, these are not phases that I just pull out of dead air. These are phases that I pull from my personal journey, And living her truth means I define it as having the courage to embrace all aspects of who you are.
Right.
And present that person to the world.
Right.
Because the things that we go through, the relationships that we have, these things affect us, right? It directly affects the choices that we make and the choices that we don't make, So having a program like Choose to Do would have been like amazing, back in the day. So I'm just grateful that you answered the call and you're doing it now, because our young people really need that now. And with my story, me sharing my story, I realize and understand that sexual abuse is not everybody's story. Thank God. Unfortunately, it's a lot of our stories, but it's not everybody's story. So I want to bring other women in and have a conversation about, like, what does it really look like? Because we hear live your truth all the time, right? But what does that mean? What does that look like? Because even, grown women were having, a hard time, like, figuring that out. But I truly believe that it is so important to just live in your truth, because number one, you don't even know who's watching you, who's pulling motivation and inspiration from you. So in your words, in your opinion, why do you think it's important to live in your truth, or if you think it's important at all?
That's the basis of your journey. That's where you begin to grow. I feel like it's so important for people to find out who they are, because that's where your joy is. That's where happiness is for you. When you live your truth, you accept yourself for who you are. And then being judged by other people, those things that come from outside society don't necessarily will affect you as much as if you didn't live your truth. You know, it's almost like you're putting up a wall to society, to the outside world, to say, you know, this is my boundary, you can't cross it, because I know who I am, I've accepted myself, you know, and I'm living my truth, you know, so that tells society that you can't mess with me, you know, essentially. So that's, I think it's so important for people to do the work and to figure out who they are and accept themselves. And it doesn't matter how old you are. You can start off at, you know, 5. You know, you can start off at 12. You can start off at 50. It doesn't matter. As long as you are doing the work to figure out who you truly are, so that you can lead a healthy life. You know, that's ultimately what it comes down to. You know, so that's important.
That is super. Oh my God. That is like super important. You know, I was at church a couple of weeks ago, and I was talking to the First Lady, and she, you know, told me how, because my church just had a retreat, and she was telling me how someone had never went through therapy to deal with the fact that she was sexually abused, and now this woman is like, I guess in her early 50s, still reliving it as if it had just happened yesterday. So living your truth, it is a journey. Like that requires a lot of healing, you know, despite what it is that you have gone through, you know, because yes, our paths are a little different, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of similarities with what it is that, you know, we go through. So
Pain
is pain.
Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Pain is pain, but you know, I share my story because I want to motivate others to go and get the help, you know, so they can actually heal. Because a lot of us, we are walking around thinking that we healed, and technically we're not really healed. But because we are functioning, you know, it's like it's giving off this like false pretense, if you will, that everything is okay, and that's not necessarily the case.
That's
you know,
a word right there.
Man. That's not necessarily the case, you know. And I love the fact that you just said too that, you know, it's like you let society know, when you live in your truth, you let society know you can't touch me because, you know, I'm confident in who I am. And to your point, I also feel as though too that it takes away what people can throw at you too. Because when you 100% love your flaws, you know, your shortcomings and your weaknesses, nobody can use that against you. You know, and that's okay, right? So it's so important to live your truth, guys. So please do so. And you know, Dozie, I believe that, tell me if you believe the same thing, I believe that every human being wants to live a purposeful, meaningful life, right? Like that's ultimately, that's our goal. I think we all have that commonality. So in your opinion, how do you think self-awareness plays into living a purpose-driven life?
So it goes hand in hand to me. If you don't know, I'm sorry, what was the question again?
How do you think that, or if you do think that self-awareness plays a part into living a purpose-driven life?
Yes. So if you're not aware of yourself, you can't. Your purpose is like lost. It's like murky. You know, it's just like it's like the direct line from who you is your purpose. You know, so if you're lost, your purpose is lost as well. You know, you don't have the direct connection to it, and so you have to do the work on yourself because it's a discovery process. You know, you discover yourself, and then throughout your journey, you will discover what is your purpose. You will find out, you know, what you're meant to do on this earth, or who you're meant to be on this earth, or you know, the places you're meant to go, or whatever that is. You know, for each individual person. So it's just everything to me comes down to who are you? You know, what is your truth? What kind of a person do you want to be? You know, where do you want to go in life? You know, how do you want to show up in the world? And you know, it's not an easy thing to do. It's a lifelong journey. You know, but a big part of that is transparency.
Say that again. You know, a lifelong journey.
So if you ever hear anybody say, "I have arrived, I've discovered myself," you know, you kind of have to question that, because life changes like this, and you have to rediscover yourself. You know, like you're never going to be the same person every single day. Your truth is not going to be the same thing every single day. You know, it is a process. And but once you get those tools on how to discover yourself, I believe it becomes easier. And so you have, it's like muscle memory. You know? And so when you discover that's how it was for me. You know, my journey started, I want to say, whatever, 2019?
Yeah.
So, I was like, 2022, I don't know. It's going by so fast.
I know, right?
Like,
oh
it's
my
so
goodness.
crazy.
Yeah.
So my journey, I want to say, started 2015.
Okay.
And I'm 33 years old now.
Okay.
And, you know, y'all do the math. So I come from a traditional background. Only girl in my family of 4 boys. Parents are immigrants, Nigerian immigrants. And so I was raised on a very strong belief of a certain kind of a household. Essentially oppression, you know, being oppressed as a child and as a young adult.
Thank you for sharing that.
It's what it is, you know, it's oppression. And so many of my generation that come from my background have the same kind of story. And so coming from the background of being told who to be, being told what to believe, being told how to show up in this world. When I left that household, I left with that mentality of I'm someone that somebody told me to be. I didn't know who I was, you know, but all my life as a child, I knew who I was, you know, but that stuff is taken from you, it's taken out of you. You know, I'm a very strong individual. I'm very opinionated. I'm outspoken. I knew who I was, but as a young adult, it was taken from me. So I had to rediscover that. And that journey led me to finding myself and accepting myself and still finding myself and still accepting myself to this day. And so that's what Birth It Choose to Do Inc. is, self-discovery. You know, if you become aware of yourself, you become aware of your flaws, you know, then you can accept yourself for who you are. And people will then have no choice but to accept you for who you are. You know, and your purpose comes out of that. You know, you start finding out things about yourself that you maybe kept hidden, you suppressed, or you didn't know, you know, and that's what happened to me. So, and now here I am, a beautiful butterfly.
Beautiful butterfly. Wow, that was so, man, thank you for sharing that, because that was deep, because our, you know, upbringings were different, but I can completely relate to that, because being sexually abused for 8 years, who I was stripped away. And because it was stripped away so early, you know, thankfully for you, you knew who you was as a child. I had no idea, you know, because my innocence was taken away from me. So when my journey started in college, you guys know that if you know my story, it started in college. Like, I had to figure out who I was. At least you had an idea, you know, and that's where the self-awareness came in at. And, you know, even though my journey started a lot earlier than yours, thank you for sharing that it just started 4 years ago, because I think some of us, we get a certain age and we feel like it's too late to get the help that we need, you know, to deal with what it is that, you know, we have gone through or things that we've heard. It's so crazy. We think it's too late, but something our teacher said when we were in the 5th grade is still affecting us today.
Yes.
But we won't do the work to heal from, you know, from that statement. It's, you know, it's just,
people are stubborn.
It's just so mind-boggling to me.
I've been in therapy for many years. And my therapist recently, she's my most current therapist. Recently told me, why won't you do the work to make yourself better? And it was something, because I wanted to start journaling. And meditating, because now as a business owner, self-care is a big part of running a successful business. And a lot of us don't have, especially Black women, don't have a good representation of what self-care looks like and just in life in general, and then also in the business aspect as entrepreneur. And so this world is new for me, it's new for my family. And so I knew that I had to go deeper and I had to take time to really take care of myself if I wanted to have a successful, run a successful business or businesses. And so she said, why won't you just take the time out to journal or, pretty much like really take care of yourself. And I was like, but I am taking care of myself. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And she says, well, this is a part of it, And I was like, but it's another task. It's like I got so much on my plate. I got so much to do, And even that like mental breakdown that I have to go through to realize like if you really want, like there are many facets of taking care of yourself. This is one thing you have to do to take care of yourself. Why won't you do it? And it's the psyche telling you that whatever it is, ultimately you're short. It's a short sell. You're not allowing yourself to really, achieve that greatness that you're seeking. And when she said it to me, I was like, light bulb. You're right. And so I started journaling. It hasn't been like every single day, but like I started doing that, started meditating, and just like following like these little baby steps and setting times throughout the day has really been helpful, in creating a habit and a pattern to take care of myself on a deeper level, So I just wanted to add that.
No, thank you. Thank you for adding that, because you're right. I think a lot of people think self-care means a massage. Absolutely nothing wrong with a good massage, not at all. But, the one thing I believe that we leave out of self-care is our mentality, our mindset. Like our mindset is the last thing that we think about when it comes to self-care, but it's the first thing the devil attacks. Because if he can take a hold of your mind, everything he can take away everything else. So mindset is so important when it comes to self-care. And several years back, I'm gonna just give you guys my testimony, and I'm pretty sure this will relate. Some of you may relate to it. Several years ago, for me, once I went through therapy for, the sexual abuse, it never really dawned on me that I can continue to go to therapy. And the reason why is because I was afraid that I would, find out that I wasn't really healed. Instead of understanding the fact that I'm going to go through some things. Like that wasn't the last thing that I would go through, It does not stop there. So I'm glad that you brought up the fact that, life happens and things will always, come up. And so even like recently as in like last Thursday, you guys, I did a consultation because, I'm getting back into the therapist chair because I'm in a whole new season of life. Like I have other things going on outside of ASistersTruth. For those of you who do not know, I have a business called ASistersTruth, in addition to the Living Her Truth show, in addition to being married, having a husband and a family and things going on in my personal life, that I was noticing that the tools and tactics that I would use 5 years ago to bounce back and have that mindset reset wasn't quite working. So I needed to do something different. Change needs to happen, you guys. So, the first step, change that mindset. So the first step is for me to get back in therapy, because therapy works. It worked for me in the past. It's going to work for me now. So I'm getting back into therapy and, just talk about these issues that, well, not even really issues, because they're not like huge issues. I'm just in a different season, right now. And my circle that I'm close to, once again, I'm that person in the circle that's not really dealing with what it is that I'm dealing with right now. So it's like I'm the first one, right? I've shared with you guys before that, I don't think I've shared with you, that my husband and I are having fertility issues. One of the big things that we're dealing with is fertility issues. My family is fertile. So fertility issues, people don't know how to, don't know how to address that because everybody having babies, so I'm in a different season of my life. And so not really having people that I can necessarily talk to family wise. You know, it's time for me to come up with some new tactics. So, you know, the journey, like Dozie said earlier, this is a lifelong journey, because something is always going to come up, you know, something's always going to frustrate you, make you feel overwhelmed or whatever. So what are you doing on a constant, consistent, daily basis to help you do that mental reset? You know, so what is it that you're doing? So thank you for sharing that, and thank you for sharing that you've been in therapy for years, you know, because that's okay too. You know, you might not be healed in 5 sessions. That's okay.
Or you might be.
You might be. But if you're not, that's okay too. It doesn't mean that something is wrong with you. You know, it just means that maybe you just gotta go a little bit deeper. You know, so I'm actually looking forward to my therapy sessions. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to, you know, getting it out.
Yes.
What I gotta say, just get it out.
And something talking to a stranger, just talking to someone who is doesn't know about your daily life.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
And just I'd be on the couch like, oh my God. I'm like, why am I crying? Like, not even knowing that I'm having all this stuff pent up inside. You know? And then feel like a little lighter when I leave. You know?
It's a non-judgment zone.
Yes, yeah.
It's a non-judgment zone. You can like go sit on somebody's couch and just say, what did I say? Whatever. Because depending on what it is, they may have to report you to the police. But you know what I'm saying.
But they have confidentiality, you know.
But you know what I'm saying. You can just go and just like, you know, just like let it out. So I am looking forward to, you know, to therapy. I'm probably going to do a video just talking about in depth, like what I've been dealing with recently mentally, and just talk about what it is that I'm going to do to make those changes, because this is why I have this show, you guys, so we can like talk about it, because these are the behind the scenes of what it is that we're not talking about. You know, we're in the era of social media, so people can, you know, post what they want to post and post the perfect life or whatever, but what's going on behind the scenes? Like, are you comfortable enough? Because you have to be comfortable enough to share and be transparent, right? Are you comfortable enough, you know, to share your story and share your journey, you know? And so I think I'm gonna do a YouTube video and just talk about that.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, a little bit more, even though I don't have it all figured out yet, but that's okay. Maybe we can go on the journey together. So when I do that, so when I do that, I would definitely, you know, let you guys know. So Dozie, with your organization, how important is self-awareness in your organization, and teaching the little girls more about what self-awareness is and how to tap into it?
Yeah, that's where we start, actually. So Breaking the Cycle, the 5-week program that promotes self-love and leadership among girls 9 to 19 years old. It's every week we have a topic that we discuss. And for example, the first week we might talk about how to cultivate a vision for your future. Second week we might talk about fears and healthy ways to deal with them. You know, third week we might talk about how to speak to yourself in a loving manner. Fourth week we might talk about what does healthy love look like, what does healthy love feel like. And the purpose of all of this is to get the kids to think like internalize you know, these thoughts, you know, think differently about your life, you know, as a child and in the future as an adult, you know, and then because you're in a tight space with your community, which is your home, your parents, your siblings, whoever you're around, you know, you can impart this information onto people that are around you, you know. So essentially it starts with self. You know, if the children that we are teaching understand and process this information, they can pass it on. You know, and then they can pass this on to their surroundings, which is essentially their community. Excuse me. And so, so it starts with the self of the child, seeing yourself differently, processing yourself differently, giving the child different thought patterns, different ways of viewing their lives, you know. And a lot of them are underprivileged. A lot of them come from backgrounds that are dysfunctional. We taught a session at a group home called Krause Residential Treatment Center, which is a group home for traumatized girls.
Oh, wow.
And so we were there, and it was about 70 girls that we mentored. And so after the program, we had girls come up to us and say, we've never seen Black women working together before, you know, in a positive environment. We've had a white girl, actually, a little white girl. She was just, you could tell she had been through some kind of, like, something serious, you know. And she came up to me and she says, you know, love, this is the week that we talked about what healthy love looks like. And she says, you know, some people just, she walked up to me and said, you know, some people just don't know how to love you, you know. Maybe the way they express themselves in love is like through hurt and pain. And I said to her, I said, baby, love does not equal pain. Love, you know, is compassion, and love is understanding, you know. Love is not pain. And she was a girl that didn't like to be touched, and she didn't want anyone around her, and she distanced herself, and she didn't speak very much, you know. So for her to come up to me and say that, participate in the activity, and say that, you know, even if she didn't completely understood what we were teaching, she had a different training of thought, you know, a different way to process it, you know. And what also was great was that the facility provided therapy for the girls, you know. So it's like we give out the tools, and we, you know, we give the kids a different way of thinking, you know. And because adults don't even have this, you know, kind of access. You know, adults are going through life thinking that things are okay and things are fine with the way that they're living their lives. But if you just plant a seed in somebody's mind, you'd be amazed at what people can do with that seed. You know, and where that seed could take them. You know, and if it's purposeful, it's intentional, and it's healthy, and it could actually change the trajectory of someone's life, it's worth it. You know, so if we can arm these kids with tools to help them visualize and see themselves as valuable, as worthy for love, worthy for affection, healthy affection, what that looks and feels like. That to me is like the ultimate of anything, you know, because then the parents are like in different spaces as well, because they see their kids are presenting themselves differently, you know. So it's a trickling effect. That's the goal. So so back to the question. It's self-awareness is the core of what we do. The core, it is what we do, you know. That's what we teach, is self-awareness. You know.
Man, I love that. I got chills just hearing you talk about the girls, because I can relate on so many levels. And it's so sad that they never seen a group of Black women in particular actually work together in a positive way. You know, for a short time, one of my nieces had to come and live with me down here in Texas. This was years ago. And, you know, my bestie that's here, you know, I went to her and I told her, I was just like, if you don't mind, let's do like Taco Tuesday. So we did like dinner once a week with my little niece, because I wanted my niece to see two Black women getting together and just talking. Even if we had an argument, it doesn't matter, because if we have an argument, like, I think children not only need to see the argument, but they need to see the resolution of the argument. You know, how do you resolve that? How do you argue, have two different opinions, and then come back around and still like love each other and respect? Exactly. So I did that, you know, with my best friend, and she was 100% down with it, because I wanted to break the stigma that Black women cannot work together, or women in general just cannot work together and be friends. And then also my now husband, who was there, my boyfriend, you know, with the showing what healthy love looks like, or teaching the kids what healthy love looks like. I went to him and I challenged him. I was just like, you know, hey, my niece is coming to stay, if you don't mind. You know, when when she's around us, not necessarily like fake the funk,
Yeah.
but be okay with holding my hand and hugging me and showing me, you know, affection, you know, because I wanted my niece to see that, you know. My husband is the type of guy that he opens up doors. So he didn't just open up the door for me, he opened up the door for my niece as well. So, you know, I don't have any children. This is my niece. So those of you, I'm challenging you, even if you have children, if you have nieces and nephews, do what it is that Dozie is doing. They don't have to, like, our kids shouldn't have to be a part of an organization. Not to say that your organization is not wonderful.
Very honest. I mean, it's very true. You know?
But
it starts in the home.
It starts in the home. And it doesn't have to always be the parents. It can be the auntie, it can be the uncle, it can be the grandmama and the granddaddy, you know, or the big cousin. So I want to challenge you to do that for the children that are in your family. Right? Like, why can they not see that from somebody who looks like them? That is so important, you guys. So I'm challenging you to do that. If you are doing that right now, let us know in the comments below this video, because I would love to hear your stories, you know, or how you are doing that, you know, with the children in your lives as well, because it takes a village, you guys. It takes a village, and we all need to do our part in helping out with this younger generation. I cannot say enough how, you know, an organization like Choose to Do would have benefited me so much growing up, because growing up in Chicago Heights, Illinois, which is right outside of Chicago, it's a small little town. You know, I was raised in the projects, so that project mindset, like, that's all I had. But when I went to Atlanta, baby, my mind was blown. You hear me? And it was almost exposure. Like a exposure. And it was almost like a culture shock. Even though my little town was predominantly black, it was still like a culture shock to go to Clark Atlanta University, because, you know, these black kids, like, they was on their education.
Celebratory.
Man, it was cool to be smart. Like, where I come from, it wasn't that cool to be smart. But you know, at Clark in Atlanta, it was cool to be smart. So, but just having that exposure, like you say, you know, and just, you know, open me up to a new world and a different way of doing things and living. It was so important. So I just thank you for what it is that you're doing. Is amazing. It's really amazing. How can people, you know, connect with you and, like, donate or even help out with the cause? Where can people find you?
You can find us on all social media platforms: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, at Choose to Do Inc. We have a YouTube channel at Choose to Do Inc., where we post our video, we upload our videos from our programs, and then things that we have working on coming up. And then we have a website, www.choosetodoinc. That's CHOOSETODOINC.org, where you can sign up for our newsletter, and we will keep you updated on what we have going on. And currently we're planning for our second annual fundraiser, which will be on July 27th, from about 12 to 3 p.m. So the theme is a family reunion. So it's welcome to our family reunion, where you get to be a part of our family and join us and celebrate what we've done, and volunteering and helping out in the future, possibly collaborating also with other like-minded businesses to participate in what we have going on. So yes, I want to see all your faces there. Come out, have fun with us, food, drinks, raffles, fun, all that good stuff, family reunion style. So it'll be a lot of fun.
I love that. And you guys, I'll put all of her website and social media handles, you know, in the description as well. And also do you have a link for the event? Because I'll put that information. Okay, I'll put that information in the description as well. So you guys, please reach out and connect with Dozie, you know, help out, volunteer with Choose to Do Inc. Because it's so important, you know, like oh my God, I just love the name and the name of the organization. I just love the organization in general, because it's just so amazing. So definitely check the description box to get all of Dozie's contact information, so you can reach out and connect with her. Dozie, thank you so much for saying yes to sitting down with me and having this conversation today. I really enjoyed you, girlfriend.
Thank you. Thank you. I had fun too. This was dope.
Thank
like
you.
this.
Thank you. This was amazing. So you guys, remember, Mother's Day is coming up. Get your mother a custom handmade clutch from Kisa Fashion. Go over to the website, kisakisafashion.com. Use the promo code SMILE to get 20% off your purchase today, because it's Monday. If you don't have a gift right now, you messing up. Please get your mom, her Mother's Day gift. So you guys, thank you so much for joining us on tonight. Thank you again, Dozie.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Maybe you have to come back.
For sure. I would love to come back.
Yeah. That would be great if you were to come back. So we see you guys next time.
Bye.